I was standing in the middle of the company picnic, holding a paper plate of potato salad I did not ask for, watching my Auntie Lorraine square up with my boss like they were about to settle a grudge in the parking lot of a Waffle House. And the wildest part? This whole mess started 3 weeks earlier at Thanksgiving, when she walked into my mama's house with my ex-boyfriend on her arm, like that was the most normal thing in the world. Let me back up, because you need the full story to understand how I ended up becoming a meme at my own job. My name is DeAndre Mitchell. I'm 28, and I work as a junior marketing coordinator at Pinnacle Solutions, which is a fancy way of saying I make PowerPoints for people who make more money than me. It's not my dream job, but it pays my rent on time. My boss, Sharon Whitmore, seemed cool enough when I got hired 6 months ago. She's one of those professional black women who wears sharp suits and talks about synergy and making the most of opportunities. But she'll also slide you a Tupperware of her mama's pound cake on your birthday. I respected her. I wanted to impress her. I definitely did not want my family anywhere near her. But family shows up whether you're ready or not. Thanksgiving started out normal. Well, normal for us, which means loud, crowded, and half an inch from chaos at any given moment. My mama, Patricia Mitchell, had been cooking since Tuesday. The whole house smelled like heaven, wrapped in butter and seasoned with love. Turkey, dressing, mac and cheese, greens, candied yams, cornbread, sweet potato pie, peach cobbler, all of it. My mama does not play about Thanksgiving. She'd been up since 5 that morning, moving through that kitchen like a conductor in front of an orchestra. My little sister Jasmine was supposed to be helping, but she was really just sneaking bites and scrolling through Instagram. My cousin Marcus was in the living room arguing with my uncle about whether LeBron was better than Jordan, the same argument they'd been recycling since 2003. My grandma sat in her favorite chair by the window, watching everything with those eyes that see too much and say way too little. It was perfect. Until the doorbell rang at 3:15. "DeAndre, get the door!" my mama shouted from the kitchen, hands buried in a pot of greens. I shuffled over, expecting Aunt Carol and her husband, who were always late. I opened the door and froze. There was Auntie Lorraine, standing on the porch in a leopard print dress that was doing far too much, smelling like she had bathed in perfume, grinning like she'd just cashed a winning lottery ticket. "Hey, baby!" she squealed, pulling me into a hug that involved way too much body contact. Auntie Lorraine is my mama's younger sister, and she is what my grandma calls a whole lot of woman. She's 52, but dresses like she's 25, has 3 ex-husbands, drives a Mustang she can't quite afford, and has an opinion about everything from politics to your edges. "Hey, Auntie," I said, hugging her back. "Come on in. Mama's almost done with." That's when I saw him. Standing behind her, holding a bottle of wine and wearing a nervous smile, was Derek Thompson, my ex-boyfriend. The same Derek who broke up with me 8 months ago because he needed space to find himself. The same Derek I dated for 6 years while we talked about marriage and babies and joint savings accounts. The same Derek who apparently had found himself on my mama's porch with my auntie. My brain just shut down. I stood there with my mouth open, like my system needed to reboot. It felt like watching a car crash in slow motion. Except the car was my love life, and it was happening in front of my mama's house. "DeAndre, baby, I want you to meet my new boo," Auntie said, completely oblivious to the way my soul was leaving my body. "This is Derek. Derek, this is my niece, DeAndre." Derek's face went from nervous to horrified. His eyes got wide, his mouth opened a little, and he looked like he wanted the ground to swallow him whole. "We've met," I said, my voice flat and empty. "Oh, y'all know each other?" Auntie beamed. "That's wonderful. Isn't that wonderful, baby?" Derek looked like he might throw up on my mama's welcome mat. "Auntie," I started, trying to find words that wouldn't cause an explosion on the front porch. "Can I talk to you for a second?" "Later, baby. I'm starving," she said, breezing past me into the house with Derek trailing behind her like a man walking to his own execution. "Patricia! Girl, something smells good in here." I stood there for a solid 10 seconds. staring at the empty doorway. Was this a prank? Was somebody filming this? Was I in a very specific kind of nightmare? Short answer, yes. The next 2 hours felt like torture. We all sat around the dining room table, which suddenly felt way too small. Mama had done her usual beautiful setup. The good china, the fancy napkins, the little pumpkins and fake fall leaves in the center. It looked like a magazine spread. It did not feel like one. I was between Jasmine and Marcus, right across from Auntie and Derek. They were sitting too close. Every time I looked up, I saw one of them. Every time I tried to focus on my food, I heard Auntie's laugh, loud enough to wake the dead 2 cities over. "So, Derek," Mama said, passing him the mac and cheese, "how did you and Lorraine meet?" I choked on my sweet tea. Jasmine patted my back and gave me a look that said, "Yeah, I knew something was off." "Well," Derek started, staring at every surface except my face. "We met at the gym. I was on the treadmill and Lorraine was in the spin class. And we started talking and I knew right then he was special." Auntie cut in, squeezing his arm. "He got a good job. He's respectful. And baby, he can cook. You know how hard it is to find a man who can cook?" "I know that's right," Aunt Carol chimed in from the end of the table. My grandma watched all this with her eyebrows raised. She caught my eye and gave me a look that said, "I've seen some nonsense in 78 years, but this here is fresh." "What do you do for work, Derek?" my uncle asked. He had no idea he was talking to the enemy. "I'm a physical therapist at Johnson Medical Center," Derek said. "Oh, that's good money," my uncle nodded. I wanted to flip the table. I wanted to stand up and announce that this man had taken 6 years of my life and was now sitting at our Thanksgiving table with my auntie. I wanted to ask him what happened to needing space, because apparently he found it between spin class and the elliptical. But I didn't, because I was raised better than that, because this was my mama's house, because I was a grown woman and I was supposed to act like it. So instead, I sat there, pushing food around my plate, while my auntie and my ex acted like they were in some trailer for a romantic comedy. "DeAndre, you're being awfully quiet," Mama said, giving me that look that promised a follow-up interrogation later. "Just enjoying the food, Mama," I said, forcing a smile. Jasmine leaned in. "You good? You look like you're about to pass out." "I'm fine," I whispered, jaw clenched. After dinner, when everybody drifted into the living room to nap in front of football, I cornered Derek in the kitchen while he was pouring more sweet tea. "What are you doing?" I hissed, keeping my voice low. "Man, I didn't know she was your auntie," he said, looking genuinely panicked. When she told me her last name was Johnson, I just didn't connect it. "Your mama's last name is Mitchell. Johnson is her married name from husband number 2, I said. "How long have you been seeing her?" "About 3 months, he admitted. "DeAndre, I swear, I had no idea. We met at the gym, we started talking, and I didn't know until we were already what? Already dating? Already serious? Already bringing her to my mama's house?" "We haven't done that with my family yet," he said quickly. "Oh, so my family is the test run now? Great, love that for us. Look, I know this is weird." "Weird?" I almost laughed in his face. "Weird is bumping into your ex at Target and your hair looks crazy. Weird is accidentally liking a picture from 3 years ago on Instagram. This is not weird. This is a full episode of Maury. What do you want me to do?" he asked, honestly distressed. "Good. I want you to figure out how you went from needing space to find yourself to dating my 52-year-old auntie." "She's 52? His eyes went wide. "You didn't know? She told me she was 45. Under different circumstances, I probably would have laughed. Right then, it just felt like gasoline on a fire. "DeAndre? Derek?" Auntie's voice came from the doorway. She looked between us, confused. "Y'all know each other?" There it was, that little crossroads moment. I could tell the truth. I could say, "Yes, girl. This is the man who broke my heart after 6 years." I could blow the whole evening up. But I looked at her. Leopard print dress, big hair, big smile. She looked happy. I couldn't remember the last time I'd seen her look that happy. "We went to the same high school," I lied. "Small world, right?" "Oh, that's wonderful," she gushed. "See, baby, I told you this was meant to be. The universe is connecting us." Derek looked at me, shocked and maybe grateful. I looked away. I wasn't doing it for him. I did it because I didn't want to ruin Thanksgiving. Because even though Auntie is a lot, she's still family. And she's had her share of trash relationships. If this made her feel good, who was I to snatch it away in the middle of dinner? The rest of the night dragged, but I made it through. They finally left around 8. The second the door closed, Mama cornered me in the kitchen. "All right, talk," she said, arms crossed. "About what?" I tried. "Girl, don't play with me. You were looking at that man like you wanted to slap him with a turkey leg. What's the story?" I sighed. No point lying to her. He's my ex-boyfriend. We dated for 6 years. He broke up with me 8 months ago. Mama's eyes went wide, then narrow, then wide again. It was like watching somebody flip TV channels. "Lorraine is dating your ex-boyfriend?" "Apparently." "And she doesn't know?" "Nope." "And you didn't tell her?" "No." Mama sat down like her knees gave out. "Lord, give me strength. This family is going to send me to an early grave." "What should I do?" I asked. She drummed her fingers on the table, thinking. "You need to tell her." "But she looks happy." "She's happy off a lie. And when that lie comes out, and it will, it's going to hit harder than if you just tell her now." "What if she gets mad at me?" "She might. She'll get over it. That's what family does. But if she finds out you knew and didn't say anything, that's a different kind of hurt." Mama was right. She usually is. But I still couldn't bring myself to do it. Not yet. So I did what any emotionally overwhelmed person does. I avoided the whole situation. That lasted about 2 weeks. Then Sharon announced the company's annual winter picnic. Technically, it was called the Holiday Celebration and Team Building Event, but nobody was saying that whole title. It happens every year in early December, right before everybody starts using their vacation days. The idea is fun, casual bonding. The reality is lukewarm food and forced small talk. I usually skipped it. I don't like mixing my work life and my personal life. But this year, Sharon hinted that people hoping to move up should definitely be there. Since I'd been dropping subtle hints about wanting a promotion to senior coordinator, I pretty much had to show up. They booked Riverside Park, this big, pretty park with pavilions, trails, and a lake. The company reserved a couple pavilions, ordered catering, and set up games. It was all very team spirit. I showed up in my best casual professional outfit, ready to smile, network, and pretend I liked team-building activities. Everything was going fine. I was eating a burger that was just okay, listening to my coworker Jennifer talk about her kids' soccer tournament, nodding like it was the most fascinating thing in the world. Sharon was circulating, chatting with everyone like the queen of the picnic. Then I heard a voice that made my whole body tense up. "DeAndre! Baby!" I turned around. Here comes Auntie Lorraine, marching across the grass like she owned the park. Bright pink tracksuit, big sunglasses, platform sandals she had no business wearing in December. Next to her, looking confused and uncomfortable, was Derek. "What are you doing here?" I croaked. "We were walking the trail and I saw you over here," Auntie said, waving like I'd just come back from basic training. I told Derek, I said, "Baby, that's my niece. Isn't this something? What are you doing here? Is this a work thing?" "Yes," I said, eyes darting around. People were definitely looking. "It's the company picnic." "Oh, how nice. You remember Derek, right? From Thanksgiving?" How could I forget? "Yeah, I remember," I said. "We've been coming here every Sunday to walk the trails," she went on, slipping her arm through his. "It's our thing. 5 miles every week. I'm trying to keep this body tight." That was information I did not need. "That's great, Auntie, but this is a work event, so—" "Oh, I'm not gonna bother you, baby. I just wanted to say hi. You know how I am. I see family, I gotta speak." She was talking loud. Real loud. Folks were turning their heads. I saw Jennifer watching like she was at the movies. Mark from accounting did a full turn in his lawn chair. And then I saw Sharon heading our way, polite smile on her face, ready to do the gracious boss thing and welcome whoever these strangers were. "Hello," Sharon said, extending her hand to my aunt. "I'm Sharon Whitmore, DeAndre's supervisor. You must be family." "Oh yes, I'm her Auntie Lorraine," she said, shaking Sharon's hand like they'd known each other for years. "And this is my boyfriend, Derek." Sharon turned to Derek with that same polite smile. Then everything shifted. Her face froze. Hand stopped halfway. Her eyes went wide. "Derek Thompson?" she asked, voice suddenly cold. Derek went pale. "Sharon, oh no. You know each other?" Auntie asked, looking between them. "Know each other?" Sharon let out this laugh that did not match her face. "This man ghosted me after 3 dates 2 months ago. Blocked my number, blocked my socials, vanished like the IRS was after him." Expand, creativer. Time stopped. Everyone within 10 feet went silent. You could hear the wind in the trees. "Sharon, I can explain," Derek started. "Oh, you can explain?" she said, louder. "Please do. Explain how you took me to dinner 3 times, told me you were looking for something serious, then disappeared." "Baby, what is she talking about?" Auntie asked, voice climbing higher. "This is a misunderstanding," Derek said, looking like he wanted to teleport. "A misunderstanding?" Sharon snapped. "You told me you wanted to take things slow. You told me you'd call. Then nothing. No text, no call, no closure, just poof." "How long ago was this?" Auntie cut in, her voice dropping into dangerous territory. 2 months ago," Sharon said. "October. Our last date was October 15th. "October 15th? Auntie turned to Derek. "Baby, we met in September. First date was September 30th. We've been exclusive since our 3rd date, which was October 8th. The math was not in his favor. Everyone knew it. "Lorraine, I can explain." Derek tried. "Explain what?" Auntie's voice was climbing again. "Explain how you were dating me and her at the same time? Explain how you a lying, cheating, no good?" "Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to lower your voice," Sharon said, trying to pull it back together. "This is a professional event." "Professional?" Auntie spun on her. "You standing here talking about your dating life at your company picnic? Because your boyfriend is a liar," Sharon shot back. "Oh, so now you coming for my relationship?" "There is no relationship," Sharon said. "He was dating both of us, and that was it." Auntie stepped closer. Sharon stepped closer. They were toe-to-toe, both of them breathing hard, both of them ready to risk it all, in the middle of Riverside Park. I jumped between them like the world's most stressed referee. Okay, everybody calm down," I said, my voice cracking. "Let's just take a breath and move, DeAndre," Auntie said, trying to go around me. "Auntie, please, this is my boss. This is my job. Can we not do this here?" "Your boss needs to learn some class," Auntie snapped. "My class?" Sharon fired back. "You're the one dating a man young enough to be your son. I'm 52, and I look damn good for my age." "You told me you were 45, Derek muttered. "What?" Auntie whipped her head toward him. "Nothing," he said quickly. "Too late." Now she was mad at everybody. "So not only are you a cheater, but you got age jokes too?" she said to Derek. "You know what? We're done. You can walk yourself back to your car." She turned to Sharon. "And you need to learn how to act in public. Just because a man doesn't call you back doesn't mean you make a scene at somebody's job." Then she looked at me. "DeAndre, baby, I'm sorry you had to see all this. I'll call you later." She marched off, pink tracksuit blazing like a highlighter, disappearing into the trees. Derek stood there a second, looking between us, then mumbled, "I'm sorry," to no one in particular, and went after her. Sharon and I stayed there in the middle of the picnic area, surrounded by coworkers who had just watched the best live drama they'd seen in years. I saw at least one phone out. I knew I was going to be on somebody's timeline. "DeAndre," Sharon said, voice shaky, "can we talk in private?" We walked away from the pavilions and games to a bench by the lake. She sat down hard and put her head in her hands. "I am so sorry," she said. "That was completely unprofessional. I don't know what came over me. I just saw him and It's okay, I said, even though my insides still felt scrambled. No, it's not okay. I'm your supervisor. I should have handled that better. I should have walked away. She looked up, eyes shiny. Please don't report me to HR. Seeing Sharon, who always looks so put together, sitting there begging me not to report her was so surreal I almost laughed. I'm not going to HR, I said. Thank you. She wiped under her eyes and tried to pull herself together. Can I ask you something? How do you know Derek? He's my ex-boyfriend, I said. 6 years together. He broke up with me 8 months ago to find himself. Then he started dating my auntie. Sharon stared at me. Your auntie? Yeah. The woman in the pink tracksuit? That's her. The one I almost fought at your company picnic? Yep. Sharon started laughing. At first, it was a small laugh. Then it grew. The kind of laugh that bubbles up when things are so ridiculous your brain has no other way to cope. I started laughing too. So there we were, sitting on a bench by the lake, both of us laughing until our sides hurt over the mess a man named Derek had caused. Your life is a sitcom, she said finally, wiping her eyes. Trust me, I know. Two wanted it. How are you not losing your mind? Who said I'm not? We sat there a little longer, watching ducks glide across the water, both of us quietly wondering how our lives got so messy. You know what the worst part is? Sharon said. I really liked him. Really liked him. We went to this Ethiopian place on our second date and talked for 4 hours. He told me about his work, his family, his dreams. He seemed so genuine. And then he just disappeared. No explanation, no closure. Do you know how that feels? Yeah, I said quietly. I do. That's exactly what he did to me. 6 years. Then suddenly he needs space. 3 weeks later, we're done. No real explanation, no real closure. Just gone. We both deserve better, she said. We do. Your auntie too, honestly. Yeah, I sighed. Her too. We eventually went back to the picnic. Everyone pretended they hadn't watched a whole showdown, but I knew it would be office gossip for months. Jennifer gave me a sympathetic smile. Mark from accounting gave me a thumbs up like I'd done something impressive. That night, my phone blew up. Jasmine texted me a link to a video of the whole scene already on Twitter, followed by a flood of crying, laughing emojis. Marcus asked if he needed to pull up on Derek. My cousin Shanice wanted the full story because the video didn't have sound. Mama called me at 9. I saw the video, she said. Of course you did. Baby, the whole internet saw it. Your auntie's pink tracksuit is trending. I groaned. You need to talk to her, Mama said. She's hurting. She called me crying for an hour. She's embarrassed. She feels stupid. And she found out from the internet that Derek was your ex. How? Somebody tagged her in a comment under the video. Said they remembered y'all from pictures on your old Instagram. Perfect. I'm going to talk to her, I said. I just need to figure out what to say. Tell her the truth, Mama said. That's all you can do. The next day was Saturday. I drove to Auntie's apartment, one of those complexes that tries to look fancy with a broken fountain and an empty gym. I knocked. After some shuffling, she opened the door in a robe and scarf, no makeup, eyes swollen from crying. She looked small, like someone had turned her volume down. Hey, baby, she said softly. Can I come in? She stepped aside. The inside looked just like you'd imagine. Leopard print everywhere, mismatched furniture that somehow worked, pictures on every inch of wall. A half-empty wine bottle sat on the coffee table. We sat on the couch. For a minute, neither of us said anything. I saw the video, she said first. The whole world saw the video. I'm a meme now. Did you see the one where they put that Mortal Kombat Finish Her song over it? Auntie. And then I find out he's your ex, that you dated him for 6 years. So I'm out here dating my own niece's leftovers, like some kind of fool. You're not a fool. Yes, I am. Tears started again. I'm a 52-year-old woman who's been married 3 times, dated half the city, and I still can't tell when a man is lying straight to my face. I'm a joke, DeAndre. I'm the crazy aunt everybody talks about at the reunion. 2HE. That's not true. Yes, it is. I know what people say. About my clothes, my hair, my dating life. I know I'm too much. I know I'm loud and embarrassing and... Stop, I said. She looked at me. Eyes red. Mascara smeared. You are a lot, I said. You're loud. You wear leopard print to Thanksgiving. You date way too many men. And yeah, you probably lied about your age. That got a tiny smile. But you are not a joke. You're not embarrassing. You're Auntie Lorraine. You're the one who sent me $50 every birthday when Mama was struggling with the bills. You're the one who showed up to my high school graduation with flowers when nobody else could get off work. You're the one who taught me how to line dance at your third wedding reception. You're family. We don't sit around talking bad about you. We laugh with you, not at you. You're just saying that to make me feel better. I'm saying it because it's true. And I'm sorry I didn't tell you about Derek. I should have told you at Thanksgiving. I should have pulled you aside and explained everything. I didn't because you looked happy, and I didn't want to hurt you. That was wrong. I should have trusted you with the truth. She was quiet for a long moment, wiping her eyes on her sleeve. Why did he break up with you? She finally asked. He said he needed space to find himself. And then he found himself in my spin class, she said, with a bitter little laugh. How corny. He's corny, I said. You're not. She smiled a little more. Your mama raised you right. She tried. We sat like that for a while. Eventually, she ordered Chinese food. We ate lo mein on the couch and watched old episodes of Times Martin Asterisk, laughing at jokes we already knew by heart. Slowly, things started to feel normal. Can I ask you something? She said during a commercial. Yeah, your boss. The one I almost fought. Sharon. She seemed nice. Before, the drama. She is nice. She's a good boss. Is she single? Auntie. No, absolutely not. I'm not trying to date her, she said. I'm just saying she deserves better too. Maybe y'all could be friends, bond over surviving the same dusty man. I laughed. I don't think that's how friendships usually start. Well, it should be. Women supporting women and all that. On Monday, I went back to work, ready to deal with the fallout. The video had calmed down online. People moved on fast. But my coworkers definitely had not forgotten. Sharon called me into her office first thing. DeAndre, I want to apologize again for Friday, she said. It was inappropriate and unprofessional, and I'm not proud of it. It's okay, I said. It's not, but thank you. I also want you to know your performance review is coming up next month, and none of that is going to affect it. You're good at your job. You'll be evaluated on your work, not on me losing my cool at a picnic. Thank you, I said, and meant it. She paused, then smiled a little. I did a lot of thinking this weekend about why I reacted so strongly, why it hurt so much when he ghosted me. I realized something. What? I wasn't actually grieving him. I was mad about being disrespected, about feeling disposable. That part is on me. I need to work on that. I get that, I said. We all have stuff we need to work on. True, she said. We should get coffee sometime. Not as boss and employee, just as two women who survived the same circus. My auntie suggested the same thing, I said. Your auntie is wise, she smiled, in a leopard print tracksuit kind of way. I laughed. I'll tell her you said that. A couple weeks later, we had a regular Sunday dinner at Mama's. Not a holiday, just one of those days where she wanted everybody under her roof. Auntie came, wearing a slightly toned-down animal print. The usual crew showed up. Nobody mentioned Derek, the video, or the picnic. We ate pot roast, mac and cheese, greens, cornbread. We laughed at my uncle's same tired jokes and listened to Grandma talk about back in my day. It was peaceful. While I was washing dishes, Grandma came into the kitchen. You did good, baby, she said. With what? With Lorraine. You could have told her at Thanksgiving and blown everything up. You could have stopped talking to her after the picnic and said she embarrassed you. But you didn't. You gave her grace. That's growth. I don't feel very grown, I admitted. I feel like I'm making it up as I go. That's everybody, she said. Life is just one lesson after another. The point is to learn something instead of repeating the same mess. You think Auntie learned? We'll see, Grandma said. I think all of you did. In the living room, Auntie was showing Jasmine something on her phone. They were cracking up. Auntie's full sparkle was back. She caught my eye and winked. Hey, DeAndre, she called. Come look at this TikTok they made. They set our little fight to a Kendrick Lamar song. It's actually kinda hard. I walked over, shaking my head but smiling. Because that's what we do. We live through the disasters, turn them into jokes later, then show up for Sunday dinner like always. A few weeks after that, I got my promotion. Sharon called me in and told me I'd be moving up to senior coordinator in the new year. She said I'd earned it with my work, my attitude, and the way I handled difficult situations. She didn't say picnic, but we both knew. Thank you, I said. This really means a lot. You earned it, she said. And since we're celebrating growth, how about that coffee? My treat. I'd like that, I said. We went to the little coffee shop down the street and talked. Not about work, not about Derek, about our families, our goals, the shows we were watching, what we wanted our lives to look like in 5 years. It felt easy. Can I tell you something funny? Sharon asked, sipping her latte. Go ahead. I saw your auntie at the grocery store yesterday. She was buying wine and ice cream. She saw me and waved like we were old friends. That sounds exactly like her, I said. She told me I have great taste in shoes and that I should call her if I ever need dating advice. I almost choked on my drink. Please tell me you did not take her up on that. Are you kidding? I absolutely did. Sharon grinned. I got her number. Your auntie is hilarious. We're getting lunch next week. You're getting lunch with my auntie, I repeated. Is that weird? It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Weirder than her dating your ex, who was also dating me? Okay, second weirdest. We laughed, and I realized something. Life rarely follows the script you write in your head. People will surprise you, in good and terrible ways. Your ex might end up at Thanksgiving with your auntie. Your auntie might nearly fight your boss at a company picnic. Your boss might become friends with your auntie. Through all of that, you get to decide who you're going to be. You can choose rage, or you can choose grace. You can choose to write people off, or you can choose to leave room for growth and healing. That's what I learned from the most chaotic holiday and work event of my life. Family is messy. Love is complicated. People get it wrong a lot. But grace, forgiveness, and showing up even when things are awkward, that's what keeps us together. And for all the drama, I wouldn't trade my loud, extra, leopard print-wearing, spin class-taking, meme-starring auntie for anything. She's mine. She's ours. That's what matters. The moral of this ridiculous story? Love your people. Tell them the truth. Forgive them when they blow it. Maybe warn them before they walk into Thanksgiving with your ex. But also remember this. Grace isn't about pretending nothing happened. It's about seeing the human behind the mistake. We're all stumbling through, messing up, learning, trying again. And if your auntie ends up in a viral video almost fighting your boss at the company picnic, well, that's just another story to tell at the reunion. The best stories usually come from the biggest messes, and the strongest families are the ones who can laugh together while they clean it up. So here's to messy families, awkward company picnics, pink tracksuits, and the kind of grace that lets everybody try again. Here's to growth, second chances, and choosing love even when it's complicated. And here's to my Auntie Lorraine, who taught me that being too much is better than being not enough, that showing up matters more than being perfect, and that sometimes your biggest lessons come wrapped in leopard print with a side of drama. Family is forever, and apparently, so are the memes. Like this video if it touched something in you. Subscribe if you want to hear more stories about what it means to be human, to be family, and to choose love, even when it's complicated. I'll see you next time.